This is a 19-minute heart-opening dancing flow, bell-bottom yoga pants included. We will start on our backs with our knees bent, feet wide so the knees can fall in on each other. Stay here for as long as you'd like. When you are ready to move, we'll take the feet to hip width apart and inhale to lift the hips, exhale to lower them back down to the ground. And continue this movement with the pace of your breath. If you'd like to add extra movement, start to add the arms as well. As you inhale, lifting the arms overhead as you lift the hips, and then exhale, lowering it all back down to where you started. Beginning to cultivate a dance between your breath and the movement of your body. And round by round, starting to let your breath slow and the movement slow as well. Final round here. With your next inhale, we'll bring the knees up into our heart for Konasana. Grab onto the legs and just move around on the back a little bit. We'll eventually roll up and down the spine, coming right over onto hands and knees into table. Finding cat-cow, inhaling into cow, exhaling into cat. Beginning to find movement in the spine and the torso. With your next inhale, we'll take the right leg back, left arm forward. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, knee to elbow. Continuing here with your breath. Let's go one more round. And then the next time you stretch out, bend that back leg, reach back with the hand, try to capture the foot, and then just push the foot into the hand, rolling your left shoulder open. Without slingshotting, inhale, release and stretch long, and then exhale, return that shin and hand to the floor. Inhale, cow. Exhale, round the spine into cat. And then inhale, one more cow pose. Exhale, cat one more time. And then as you inhale, take the left leg back, right arm forward. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, stretch long and continue with your breath. Next time you stretch out long, we'll bend that back leg. Reach back with the hand, try to catch the foot. And if you do, pull the foot back into the hand and roll the right shoulder open. And then with your next slow inhale, we'll stretch long, hand forward, foot back, and then exhale, hand and shin back to the floor. Inhale, downward facing dog, and just start to find movement here, pedaling the feet, wagging the tail, whatever helps you to find ease in this shape. And then we'll inhale into plank and continue that movement, finding ease. Preparing for chaturanga, we'll exhale. You can drop the knees if you'd like. Push right back up to plank, inhale. One more time, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, plank, and then all the way down onto the belly this time with your exhale. Press the forehead down into the ground, reach the arms forward, and with your inhale, right leg, left arm will lift, and then exhale to lower. Switch sides on your next inhale, left leg, right arm, and lower on the exhale. And then just continue to switch from side to side with the breath. Keeping the forehead and the pelvis pressing down into the ground. And trying to keep as much ease in the body as possible. On your next inhale, pull the hands back to your sides, elbows hugging in. Begin to press into the hands. Any depth of back bend, low or high cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Gently start to walk your feet in towards your hands. Just take a little stroll. Uttanasana. Maybe sway a bit side to side. And then bend your knees gently. Inhale, press into the shins, flat back. Exhale, fold. Let's do that again. Inhale, maybe the hands stay on the floor this time, flat back. And then exhale, Uttanasana. One more time. Inhale into Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, fold over the legs. Deep bend to the knees. We'll roll all the way up to stand. Finding Tadasana at the top of the mat. Inhale, big reach to the sky. Exhale, split your elbows into cactus. Let your heart keep lifting. And then inhale, neutralize the spine as you lift. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit up into chair pose. Exhale, bow, reach down and back. And then inhale, reach and stand all the way up. Exhale, split the elbows, cactus, back bend. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit up into chair pose. Exhale, bow, reach down and back. And then let your hands catch into a clasp behind the back. And just rock the hands side to side. With your next inhale, let the hands release and we'll sit up into chair pose. Exhale, hands to the floor, left leg steps back into crescent, fingertips stay down. Next exhale, bend the left knee and then inhale, straighten the leg. Let's do that twice more. Exhaling to bend, inhaling to straighten. And then with your next exhale, let's lower that left knee all the way to the floor. Inhale, low lunge, hands reaching to the sky. And then exhale, let your hands drop behind you for that clasp once again. And drop your knuckles towards the floor, let your heart lift towards the ceiling. And then release the arms, tuck your back toes under, and on an inhale, lift all the way into high lunge, crescent. Exhale, bend that back leg. Inhale, straighten. Twice more with the breath. With your next exhale, lower the arms parallel to the ground. And then inhale, pull that right arm back for the twist. Revolve your crescent, right arm down the back leg, left hand to the sky. And then exhale, left hand to the floor, right hand to the sky, and we'll start to step it open into side plank with an option to take your right foot behind you for wild thing, heart and hips to the sky. From here, we'll bring the right foot all the way back forward to crescent, whatever works best for your body. Cat-cow lunge, fingertips to the floor. Exhale to bow over a straight leg. Inhale, front knee bends, heart pulls forward. Once more with the breath. And then plant your hands and step back into plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choosing. And then exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, prepare to jump or step forward, and then exhale, move feet to hands. Inhale, we'll lift up into chair pose. Exhale, fold, reach down and back. Inhale, lift up and sit up. Exhale, fold. One more time. We'll plant the hands on your exhale and take your right leg back into crescent. Keeping the fingertips down, we'll exhale to bend the back leg. Inhale to straighten. Do that twice more. And then we'll exhale and lower that back knee down to the floor. Inhale, hands to the sky, low lunge. And then drop the hands back behind you. Find the clasp, opposite thumb on top this time. And breathe into the back bend. Inhale, release the clasp, tuck your back toes under, lift up to crescent. Exhale, bend the back knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. And twice more with your breath. Next exhale, lower the arms parallel to the ground. Inhale, pull your left arm back into the twist. And then revolve your crescent, left hand down the back leg, right hand to the sky. Next exhale, right hand to the floor. And we'll step it open into our side plank with that optional wild thing, taking the left hand or foot, behind you, heart and hips to the sky. And slowly, whatever works best for you, we'll bring the left foot all the way around into crescent. Fingertips down, cat-cow lunge. So to exhale to bow over the straight leg. Inhale, heart pulls forward as the front knee bends. Continuing with your breath. And then on your next inhale, we'll plant the hands, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, prepare to jump or step forward. Exhale, move to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. And find a back bend at the top, either with bent elbows and cactus or straight arms. And then inhale, gently lift all the way back up into Tadasana. Next inhale, we'll sit into chair pose. Exhale, fold. Clasp those hands once again behind the back. Find a little rock and roll side to side. Using your clasped hands to pull you up into Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and then exhale, fold. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and then pull your left foot up towards the bottom. And we'll fly into Warrior 3, keeping the clasp if your balance allows. Slowly step back into Crescent, reaching the hands to the sky. And then exhale, open into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Inhale, reverse Warrior. And then slowly with the breath, we'll exhale and fly into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Option for a back foot grab if you want to add the back bend into the shape. Steady breath. Slow release if you have the back foot. Soft bend to the right knee and we'll fold into standing splits. Inhale, press into the floor, lengthen front to back, and then exhale, bow knee and chin together. And then inhale, take the left leg back, bend the knee, grab the foot, and gently try to lift up into dancer's pose. If that doesn't happen in terms of balance, just stand up and find dancer's pose and skip the transition. Soft release right back into standing splits. And then we'll lift it back into Crescent, left knee to the floor, low lunge, hands to the sky. And then exhale, either take that clasp behind the back one more time or reach for the floor, try to grab onto your yoga mat and use the yoga mat to pull deeper into the back bend. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, foot up and back to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, flex your foot, stack your hips, roll it open. Maybe gaze over that left shoulder at your foot, or wild thing, drop back if you'd like. With your exhale, we'll come out of wild thing, right hand to the floor, right leg kicks out and under for a wild thing variation. Big stretch through that left side of the body. And then three-legged down dog on your inhale. Vinyasa with either both feet on the ground or one leg lifted. And we'll meet up in downward facing dog. Inhale, prepare to jump or step forward. Exhale, move. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. And we'll sit right up into chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold and clasp your hands behind the back. A little rock and roll again. Awkward clasp this time. And then again, we'll use those hands to pull you up into a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Right foot pulls up towards the bottom this time. And then fly into Warrior 3. Try to keep the clasp if balance allows, but you can lose it if you need to. Controlled step back into Crescent pose. And then we'll exhale and open into Warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your Warrior. And then follow your exhale into flight, finding Ardha Chandrasana. Option for that back foot grab again. A little added back bend. And if you do add that back bend, try a nice soft release and we'll fold into standing splits. Inhale, press into the floor, lift and lengthen. Exhale, knee and chin to pull together. And then inhale, lengthen, keep that right knee bent, reach back with the right hand, grab onto the foot, and slowly try to lift up into dancer's pose. Always the option to skip the transition and just come up and find dancer. Slow drop back into Crescent on your exhale. And then lower your knee to the floor, low lunge, big stretch through the fingertips. Exhale, hands behind you. Again, you choose between the clasp or the leverage of grabbing onto the yoga mat. Soft bend to the elbows as you pull a little bit deeper into that back bend. And then release the mat and the clasp. Hands to the floor, up and back, three-legged down dog. Open your down dog, bend the knee, flex your foot, stack your hips, maybe gaze over that right shoulder towards the foot, or option to drop into Wild Thing once again if you'd like. If you took the Wild Thing option, we'll slowly bring that left hand to the ground and kick your left leg out underneath the body, right arm reaching over for a big right body stretch. And then we'll meet up in three-legged down dog. Option for the one-legged or two-legged vinyasa. Following your breath back into downward facing dog. Exhale, slowly lower your knees down onto the floor. We'll come up to kneel, preparing for camel or a similar back bend. So option one is to take your hands onto the low back, ideally fingertips pointing down, helping to remind you to lengthen the low back, sit bones towards the floor. And you can find your back bend there, heart lifting. If you want to go deeper, hands come to the heels or maybe blocks if you have them. And then last option is a little flow, taking one hand to heel or block, other arm reaching up and over. So you choose how you spend this time here. It can be still or it can be dynamic. Whichever option you choose, keep pressing the thighs forward and keep lifting your heart. Let's take a little back bend break. So lower the hips towards the heels. Just let the eyes close for a moment. Let your hands rest in your lap. Nice steady breath. And then we're going to go for one more round. So you choose camel with hands on low back, camel with hands on the heels, or that dynamic flow from side to side. Exiting your back bend when you're ready, feeling free to stay longer if you want to remain here a little bit longer. Slow lift all the way up, chin to the chest is the last thing. Sit back on your heels and then either stay on the heels and breathe there or start to find your Virasana Hero's pose with your sit bones on the ground between your heels. Option to stay there. And then, of course, one more option to start to lower down towards the floor. Supta Virasana. Being very, very mindful of your knees here. So if the knees hurt at all at any point in this transition or sequence of options, just back out. It's not worth it. So either sitting on the heels, sitting on the floor in Hero's pose, or starting to recline any amount. We'll spend a few more breaths here, just trying to soften into the shape and find as much ease as possible. If you reclined, we'll eventually carefully push ourselves back up to seated. And if you're sitting on the floor, let's pop back up onto our heels. And we'll take a twist, right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Left hand either reaching behind you or half binding around the back, reaching for your right waist or hip. Sitting really tall. And then we'll just switch sides. Left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Right hand behind you to the floor or in that half bind. And then slowly start to untwist and gently begin to fold over the legs into child's pose. Let the arms wrap back around you, reaching for your feet. Namaste, yogis.